Hello and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we are going to dig a little deeper into the dual enrollment program at Hampton City Schools. It has exploded this year and it is a tremendous benefit for families, not just students, but their whole families. My guests are from the school system, Jennifer, Oliver, and Genevieve Elazier. Welcome.
Thank you for having us today, Robin.
You know, I think this is so exciting, and I continue to react to it as a parent because it saves a lot of money, and I just want people to know that. I mean, you can really start your student off. These days, college debt is so expensive that anything you can do to minimize that cost is a huge benefit. And I think that Hampton City Schools is giving kids a great start as well.
Yeah,
They are, and we're excited to be a part of that work.
Yeah, you guys were helped to get it started. So I just jumped right in with my own personal enthusiasm. But let's explain to people what dual enrollment means, because I think it's different maybe than it used to be. Maybe it used to be we sent schools off to community college to get a few courses, and now it's right there in their school, right?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, so dual enrollment, the Hampton City Schools has a partnership with Thomas Nelson Community College. That partnership is really integral to the whole process. So what that's allowed us to do in all 4 high schools is offer college courses that are aligned with the student's graduation. So for instance, a student that would normally take an English course during their 11th grade year can test, and if they qualify, take a dual enrollment course, which not only gives them their graduation requirement, but also fulfills 6 college credits that are transferable to any of the participating Virginia universities and colleges.
So students can take this at their high schools. They don't have to travel. They don't need transportation, which I think is a huge benefit. Who are their teachers? Who's the faculty in this program?
So I think one of the beautiful things about in-school dual enrollment is that the professors, because that is what they are, those professors are actually Hampton City Schools staff members. They've gone through an extremely rigorous and intense credentialing process through Thomas Nelson. They are experts in their particular content area, but they are the people that they're familiar with. You know, if you had Mrs. Duckworth in the 10th grade for English, you might have her again in the 11th for dual enrollment English. So you're sitting there with your peers in your school with the teachers that you're familiar with. So we've found that the students really flourish, excuse me, in that regard, because all of this is happening in their homes, you know, essentially. That school is their home. And so they're doing really well because they are in a comfortable space.
Well, and I would think too, because those teachers are / have been, whatever, high school teachers, as well as the ability and the training to teach on that higher level, they're only working with those students. And if you're at Thomas Nelson, you're working with, you know, they're 15, 16-year-olds. You're working with 35-year-olds. You've got people popping in and out. I mean, it would be hard. I think you can give them more specialized attention right there in their school.
Yeah, and we provide resources for our students. So again, that's one of the best parts of having this partnership with Thomas Nelson, is that not only are the students actually concurrent Thomas Nelson students, so they can use their labs, their computer labs, they can use their tutoring services, they can attend events on campus, but then we also have those individualized support services built within the high school as well that the students are familiar with. So, you know, we have tutoring, you know, before and after school, or we have certain remediation opportunities if the students feel like they're getting a little behind. So we're able to adapt to them at their social emotional level and their developmental levels in high school, but then also challenge them and give them additional resources at the college level as well.
So I'm going to assume a lot of these are students who may have taken AP English before and now take dual enrollment, whatever that English is, American literature, or whatever you take in whatever grade. What is the difference in those courses, or the difference in how colleges see those when they're ready to move up?
Well, actually, the dual enrollment students are not all AP students. We have students that really vary, which again is the great piece about this. They've been able to kind of mix dual enrollment in a way that they're comfortable with. They've had teachers who maybe gave them a push to say, hey, try this particular class. So in that respect, it's not all, what some people would call high flyer, status in that respect. You can have had, say, regular English for 2 years and then say, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. Because one of the differences between dual enrollment and AP is that your credit is based on the life of the course. So if you feel like I can do well, obtain a C or higher over the course of the semester, you might feel much more comfortable rather than taking an AP class, which is based on the score. So, we've had students where they have an A in the class, but they don't
bad
score
test takers.
as needed for whatever their choice college or university is. So, in that respect, I think that's makes dual enrollment feel like maybe a little more obtainable for
Right.
some, because again, they feel like, okay, I can do this. I can take my time and do this. This is not about one day in a testing center, kind of my life is hedging on this particular score. This is about them doing well over the life of the course.
So there have been students who have been dual enrolled for a while. I mean, the concept of dual enrollment isn't that new.
Correct.
What is sort of the history with Hampton? Who has been involved in programs and how have they played out before these recent year or two?
Yeah, so really dual enrollment has expanded with once Dr. Smith joined the Hampton City Schools as a superintendent. So he was familiar with dual enrollment, was very successful implementing it at his prior school districts. And so that coupled with the vision of our executive director of secondary leadership, Dr. Woods, and made for a really nice marriage, if that's what you want to call it, in terms of expanding dual enrollment in the schools. So we have had options before where students actually, we did a pilot program where they did go to Thomas Nelson. That was the early college model.
Right. I had a few of my Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
were in that program.
Very,
And they
very
did well.
successful.
And Governor's School, and New Horizons programs provided
Very
technical
CTE,
credits,
right, exactly.
as well. But it usually involved going somewhere.
Right,
New
right.
Horizons, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Right. And so I think that's one of the reasons why we are seeing such a rapid expansion is that this is an easy process for the students, and we make this process easy in terms of accessibility to testing for qualification purposes. All of our registration is done in the school, in the classroom. And so they go about a normal day, just as if they were a regular high school student, except they have this great benefit of taking these college classes. So I think that was the key, was bringing it to the schools and giving those students the encouragement and the prospect of, I can take a college class and be successful, and breaking that stigma of college is scary.
So Jennifer, what are the numbers?
So this year we have grown the program. We have 367 students for in-school dual enrollment across all 4 high schools. What that equates to is over 3,700 college credit hours earned. And in the past 2 years, the school district has saved our families almost $1 million in Thomas Nelson tuition.
It is an amazing statistic. And I think it's just one of the really important reasons that people looking where to locate should think about Hampton City Schools.
Absolutely.
Because, you save that money, and even if your kid is bright and is going to get a scholarship, if you only need 2 years, if you only need 3 years, you could maybe lump that master's in. You could maybe, explore different areas. It can either be a savings or it can be a chance for the student to really do something different during their college experience.
Right, and that is what we're seeing. We've had students who have decided to double major or to take on a minor where before they weren't examining that option, because now they've got room. They've got room. They've tackled their freshman year English and they've tackled their first year math, in their high school, and so now they have space in their schedule, and so they still want to experience the 4 years, which obviously, we support. But we've provided them some space to do some things a little differently than they originally, thought, which is great.
Does it also help in terms of, college enrollment acceptance is so competitive these days. Higher percentages of students are going to college. It is a really competitive environment. Does having this track record of taking college level courses successfully, does that tend to help? How do college admissions officers look at that?
Yeah, so the data shows from dual enrollment that, that students that are successful taking dual enrollment courses are then successful when they transfer into post-secondary education. And that's for a variety of reasons. So one of the things that Genevieve and I discuss with our students is that it's important for us to get them into a system to get to college, but it's even more important for us to know that they are going to persist in college.
Right.
And that's what the colleges see. When they see dual enrollment on their transcripts, they know that the students have challenged themselves. They know that they're familiar with the expectations of what a college classroom looks like. And the students are, because we are able to, again, provide those resources at Thomas Nelson, they feel very comfortable with that environment. And that just transfers to all universities. So they look very favorably upon our dual enrollment students. And as a matter of fact, often when our students go to visit colleges, like college visits, the admissions representatives will ask them, are you a dual enrollment student? Please list any of the dual enrollment courses that you've taken while you're in high school.
But clearly, I think, at least it is becoming a bigger trend, and other school systems are doing it as well, but Hampton is doing it bigger, and I'm going to say better. I'm allowed to make that pronouncement than any of the other school systems in this region.
And we have the largest, we brag a little bit, but we have the largest in-school dual enrollment on the peninsula. So we're very proud of that, and we are committed to growing this program, and giving as many students the opportunity to be college, career, and life ready, and also to assist our families in that process as well.
Okay, so if I'm a parent at home going, love my high school student, but I never see anything come out of that backpack. I never know what's going on. How do I get more information and potentially, nudge my student along in this area?
Sure. Well, you can always start with us. So I am based at Phoebus and Kickingham. Ms. Oliver is based at Hampton and Bethel, so as the college and career coaches who are responsible for assisting and rolling out dual enrollment, parents can always, give us a call, send us an email, and we can walk them through the process. They're welcome to talk to Thomas Nelson, the Office of Secondary School Programs, so the dual enrollment office there. The dual enrollment coordinators can, again, assist them and then link them to us if needed, depending on which route they're looking to go. And then, we send things through school channels, Naviance, so check your emails, make sure you're listening to the messages for the Connect Eds when we have parent nights and so forth, where we're sharing this information out en masse to the community for the schools as well. So we try to hit a variety of arenas in that respect.
Okay, great. Well, is there anything you guys wanted to mention that I haven't asked you about?
I did just want to share in terms of dual enrollment, the Hampton City Schools is undergoing the Academies of Hampton transformation. So families that have rising high school students, be on the lookout for our ACE Academy. That's the Advanced College Experience Academy, and that is going to be where rising ninth graders can begin a dual enrollment program for 4 years. And upon successful completion, the students will have earned an associate's degree.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yes.
And we didn't mention that we had 2 students this year in the city of Hampton earn that associate's degree.
Right.
I would say at the same time as the high school degree, but technically
did.
college graduates
first.
about a month earlier.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they did.
So they, that is a huge accomplishment for those students,
Yes.
and congratulations to you in the school
Thank you.
system,
Thank
because
you, Robin.
it is a wonderful inspiration. And I mean, I would guess they could sort of apply as transfer students at this point, but I think it's
would.
great. Normally you would still go through the regular freshman
Right.
admission process, I think.
Yes, and one of the students is looking to transfer in, which will shave a little bit of time based on the major that they're selecting. So it'll actually shave a little bit of time off for them. And then the other student is looking to, again, sort of broaden the base in terms of, double major, et cetera.
And it create options either way. I
Exactly.
mean, that's the amazing
Yes.
thing about it, I think. And it's the same thing with the academies. People are a little worried. I've heard some criticism that, oh, you're making a decision in 9th grade about what you want to be. You're not.
Yeah.
You're making a decision about how you want to study and how you want to learn and what the theme of that is. And it may or may not lead to a career or your college major, but it will help you keep going along a pathway that can change. Most people these days are not going to work in one field for 30 or 40 years. They're
Right,
not.
yeah.
So
Yeah, no, and that's where we're excited about ACE, for the students that maybe look at it from that lens of I
Yeah.
have to choose something and none of this fits or I'm afraid. Maybe ACE is a good option for them because
So it's sort of a
they
liberal
know they
arts
want to go to
introduction
college,
and-
right?
and a
Exactly,
starter.
exactly. So if they know that they're looking at college as a possibility, this could be a nice transition for them. This could be a good option in terms of taking some challenging courses, really pushing themselves, getting ready for college, and again saving their families a nice bit of money
Absolutely.
in the process. Through their enrollment in the ACE program. So.
Okay. And we should say, I mean, we've said save families money. This doesn't cost families anything. They don't. I
it
mean,
doesn't,
right.
the tuition is covered, the books are covered,
Correct.
And the state is reimbursing Hampton City Schools for
Yes.
much of that cost. So
Correct.
taxpayers locally aren't paying for it. It is generally spread out a little bit more than that. Obviously, tax money's tax money, but
Right.
it helps if
Yes.
other people in the state are contributing as well. So.
Right. Yep.
Correct.
This is an opportunity for our families to really make the most of what Hampton is offering them for their
Well,
students.
Great. Thank you both so
Thank
much.
you, Robin, and
so
thank you for
much.
having
Thank
us.
you for having us.
And thank you for watching. I hope you have learned a lot about this program and will pass this along to friends who have rising high school students. Start thinking about it earlier. People looking to move to the area. This is a huge reason to choose Hampton. Thank you for watching.